I'm joined by retired Secret Service agent Michael Succi. Michael worked for Presidents Bush, Obama, Trump, and Biden. Here he is with Obama. He now runs Succi Investigations based out of San Juan Capistrano. Sir, thank you for all you've done to protect us and our presidents along the way. Saturday, what went wrong?
Well, thank you for having me, Marla. Obviously, a few things did go wrong. But initially, the Secret Service, in my experience, is going to do their due diligence in investigating the incident. And I think it's too early to blame anybody or hold anybody accountable without hearing all the facts. But that being said, there was definitely a failure within the outer perimeter. And I think that's where we need to start the investigation.
Yeah, especially because this was noted by the Secret Service in its advanced sweep of the property itself, that roof was vulnerable. When you see, because you've done advances for presidents, when you see a vulnerability like that, do you just call it out and then just let it be?
No. Once you identify a vulnerability, there's mitigations put into place. So the counter-sniper team obviously identified that building as a vulnerability, and their positioning on the roof was the mitigation. I believe they did something right in identifying that vulnerability. Every agent goes through a detailed training, and the quick response of the guys on the ground was right.
Okay, well, let's talk some other points that maybe they did this right, too. Of course, there was that quick response from the Secret Service agents on the stage once that bullet grazed former President Trump's right ear, right in this moment, down on the ground. They keep him on the ground. But then there are questions. They keep him on the ground for about a minute. They bring him back up. When they're taking him off the stage, his head is fully uncovered. Is that typical protocol? What do you make of that?
No, that's not typical protocol for us. So at the foundation of this training is to be taught how to cover and evacuate. The former president was covered, and we were safe behind those steel plates. They waited for the counter-assault team to get in position, and then when they were notified when the shooter was down, and they utilized their own body armor on themselves to protect him as he was quickly evacuated to the armored vehicle. The fact that he puts his head out and pumps his fist is his own choice. Okay,
so if you're in that situation, isn't your job to, regardless that it's former President Trump, you're there to protect him, isn't it your job to make him shield?
Absolutely. We're trained to put one hand around the front of his belly and the other hand behind the head to hold the head down. If his head would have been shot in that evacuation, then that would have been scrutinized.
Yeah. Okay, what needs to change?
Well, in my opinion, during a campaign year, these type of outdoor events are happening 3 or 4 times per day. The security challenges of an outdoor event are exponential to what's inside an arena. And they're doing it because it's cost effective. It's cheaper to pay for an empty lot and pay for bleachers, a stage, and bike rack than to pay for an arena. And so in my opinion, these outdoor events being done at such a rapid pace during a campaign year are setting the Secret Service up for failure.
15 seconds. I know that's not a lot, but who should be held accountable?
I think it's too early to blame anybody. I'm looking forward to the results of the investigation and not having this judged on social media.
And not having it judged on social media. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that going around on both sides. That is for sure. Unity, that is the message. That is the theme. We'll see if that actually comes to fruition. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much for being with us, former Secret Service agent Michael Succi. Thanks so much.